I can't even like look at the camera when I say something. Just kidding.
No, you can, of course.
Just kidding.
You can do what you want to do. Hopefully this don't blind me too much.
Just don't look at the camera. Don't look at the light.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Friday Special Podcast. I'm your host, Friday, a.k.a. 1K, a.k.a. The Visionary.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah,
intro.
okay. Yeah. Back with another one. I would say what episode this is, but I don't know what episode it's going to be. But first of all, I want to tell you thank you.
You're welcome.
For coming and blessing my podcast. This is the one, the only Samcess Fofonah. She also has a YouTube. I'll be linking that down in the bio. Go check her out. She does a lot of cool stuff that we'll get into, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, first I want to say how much I appreciate you for coming on,
No, I appreciate you because it was like the timeline, trying to schedule it was a little conflict, but no, I do appreciate you though.
Yeah, because you were super busy. You sent me that long list of dates. I was like, man.
Of my itinerary, what I'm going to be doing next weekend. Like, I was like, I'm free this weekend. This one is taken, and I'm doing this. I'm going here. I'm going here. Yeah, it was just all over the place.
So, I really want to know, like, where you're from, like, originally. Because I know you got this strong New York accent. Right.
Everybody says that, which I hear it too. But I'm originally from Lowell, Massachusetts, which is like about a good 45 minutes north of like Boston.
Okay.
So I'm like kind of close to like New Hampshire, like border. Originally from Beantown, but but I moved to Georgia. So like you would hear like some Southern twang that comes in. So I moved to Georgia when I was 15. So I've been there and then I joined the military like from Georgia though. So.
Okay, that's what's up. What made you want to join like originally?
Honestly, to be honest, it was just like, cause I was in college. So I went to college. I was there for my pre-med. And biology when I went to the University of Kentucky on a full ride scholarship. Full ride. Then, love happens because I was dating my high school sweetheart. So love happens. And then I went to partial scholarship. So I lost some of the scholarship due to like the lack of focus and education, which was being an African child, you don't do that. So after that, I kind of decided to move to Virginia to like kind of stay with my family for a little bit because I was trying to relearn myself and all that stuff and like get out of like a bad like breakup and all that. So then I was there for like almost a year. So it was like 11 months, 10 months, 11 months. And I left and I moved to Georgia. So then I was in college again for pre-nursing and I was doing bio. And I had a scholarship there too. Shout out to Clayton State. So I went there and I think like one of the times I was just standing there and I was like, just think about like, okay, like you don't want to pay for school. Like you really don't. And you see an advertisement where it's like the military pay for your education. And I was just like, all right, I'll just do it for 4 years. Like I'll just do 4 years. And honestly, I really joined just to like,
that's what everybody says.
That's what they say. Like, so I honestly really just joined just to like do like my educational goals. Cause I didn't want my parents paying for it and then I didn't want to pay for it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and join. I went and talked to recruiters and, trying to figure out what's going on, what I could do, and then talk about like the educational goal. And of course, I love to travel because I've been traveling since I was little, states to state. And then the first travel was to London when I was young. So I was just like, I'm just going to go ahead and just join. And I told my mom after I signed my contract for me to like be in the military. And that's when I told her and she was just like, oh, wow.
That's what's up.
So
you travel a lot.
I do.
I'm telling you, this woman right here it would be easier for me to name places she hasn't been, right? And if you follow her YouTube, you'll see all the different places that she's been. So I know everyone talks about like wanting to travel and stuff like that, but you actually, take action. Everybody be talking about, oh, I'm trying to go here, I'm trying to go there, but then you they don't go nowhere. Me included. I be saying I want to go here and there, but then I don't know, I don't go. So what is it about traveling that's like so like big for you?
So for me, when it comes to traveling, what makes it big is that like it's a life outside of your regular like norm life. So us being in the military per se, we have the daily 9 to 5 or even longer than that.
Yeah.
And when you're traveling, like you're just in a different country, and I just love different cultures, different country. Because again, my parents are from Sierra Leone, Africa, so I grew up in a different culture in America. I was born in America and all that, but I grew up with the African customs and courtesies and culture. So with going traveling to like see how someone lives and how they like their way of life is and the food and all stuff, it's refreshing to me. And also actually clears my mind and actually brings me kind of some type of peace. So that's why I really do enjoy traveling, and that's why I travel a lot, because when you're doing the same repetitive thing and you're seeing the same repetitive place all the time, like it just gets boring to me. I'm just like, I gotta go. Like, so your like friends will tell you, they just be like before my dad used to be like, where are you going now? And I'm just like, oh, I think I'm going this place. But like I did slow down last year actually, and the last year I did slow down a little bit, but I'm usually gone. Like I'm just get up and go, because again, like I said, just more like refreshing for me. It's for me to like refresh myself before I come back and do this lifestyle that I signed up for. Yeah.
So I consider you to be like a traveling guru, you know, just because you just done been so many places. So what are like some of your favorites? And like you obviously done been in a lot of places, so like you've tried a plethora of different food. So what are some of your favorite places that you've been, right? And then what's like the best food that you've ever had? Or actually, no, not best food you ever had, but like what are some of the places that you've been to that have like the best food? Like if someone's asking, like, man, I got like tell them like you got to go here.
Okay, so I was stationed in Asia. That was my first. Yeah, I was in Japan. That's my first duty station. Wow. Japan, fresh out of AIT, send me overseas.
Man.
So Japan. So I actually did enjoy traveling to like Japan, and when I was there, I did go to Korea. But Japan is one of my favorite countries that I went to and visited. I think when it comes to Japan, I love ramen. So if you're like a ramen person, and I love rice, so rice hands down. Like if I'm even here, I just be like, you guys have rice? Y'all got rice? That's me. So, hands down, I'll say like the rice and curry was my favorite over there.
Okay.
And then the ramen, spicy ramen with some like pork belly and all that. Sorry for the pork eaters. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna eat that. So that was like, to me, that was really good. And another country I would say was Trinidad and Tobago. I went there in Jamaica. But Trinidad and Tobago, I think they're the food, of course. If you have like, you have Caribbean friends. Yeah, the patty was good. It was good. So I really enjoyed there. And then in Europe, my favorite country, I tell it hands down all day, every day, is Greece. All places, there. Yeah, Greece, Trinidad, Tobago, and also Jamaica is like, it's the people and the culture and see the way of life, especially like in Greece and Trinidad. They're very welcoming. They're very happy people. They just like live life, and it's just like, no worries. Like if even something bad happens, they're kind of like, it's okay. We're just going to still move on with life. We're still going to be happy. We're still going to survive. We're still going to smile. And then Greece, I had like lamb. Oh my gosh. I had really good lamb in Greece. Like, oh my gosh. And then it's like fish. I had some really good fish down in Greece too. So yeah, like I'll say those are my top 3 countries. And if I was supposed to put like a 4, I'll say Portugal. Portugal is real nice. I like the people there, the atmosphere, the food also I enjoy. So
okay. So I noticed there's, recurring theme. You keep hitting on like the different culture, right? So if you had to explain to someone who has never been anywhere, if you had to explain to them the difference between where we're from and abroad, Europe specifically, because we're in Germany, right? What would you say is like the biggest difference, the biggest like cultural difference that you have noticed?
Biggest cultural difference I would say between Americans and Germans, because Germans their thinking is very.
It doesn't have to be German, like Germany specific. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm not gonna say anything bad about German people, but if you done been over here, then that's how I'm gonna just leave it at that. But you don't have to. It doesn't have to be like Germany, like specifically. It can just be like just Europe in general.
Okay, so I would say that Americans were more. when it comes to customer service, we have that. Whereas we're more like opening, even like not even only customer service in general, like we're just more open to speak, if that makes sense. Like, you know, freedom of speech and all that stuff. We will speak up. We'll say hi to somebody in the street, like depending what like part of the world, like state you're from.
Yeah.
You're gonna speak, you know. Whereas here, like in Europe, what I've noticed, a lot of people are kind of like sheltered and kind of closed off, so they're very reserved. That's the word I want to use, reserved. So it's like, whereas Americans, you hear like, that's one thing I don't understand when people just be like, "That's my friend," and it's like, you just met that person 2 minutes ago, like, you know. Where us Americans, whereas over here they're just more like, that's an acquaintance, that's an associate, that's like a colleague, and we're just gonna keep moving. We talk here and there, but then, you know, keep it moving.
Yeah.
So they're very like reserved. And like I said, they in Europe, a big thing is that they, how do you say it? They enjoy life, if that makes sense. Like, they're not gonna work to death like in the States, where we just like, we have to make money, we have to work, we have to enjoy life. If you're not part of that, like, I'm sorry, y'all, this is Loki.
No, you're
This
good.
is my little Shih Tzu. He just turned 5. Say hi.
Shout out to the dog.
Say hi. He just turned 5 yesterday. Okay, bye. All right. Whereas in America, it's more like we work so much because we're trying to have this lifestyle of being like rich. We're trying to have this lifestyle of trying to be famous or whatever. Like, you know, blow up our YouTube channel, TikToks and all that stuff. Whereas here it's more like, you know, I'm going to take coffee break at this time, and this is my time for me to relax. I'm going to be off of this day. This is my time for me to be off. Like, and that's the difference I noticed that when it comes to like the States and Europe. I noticed that like we're just more like workaholics, and they're just more like, hey, take it easy. Like, when we say we off, we are off. We're gonna take our time and be off. We're gonna enjoy our coffee breaks. We're gonna tour our breaks. Like, and I love that. So I adopted that a lot here. Like I tell my soldiers all the time, like, yeah, I'm off. So unless you're dying, yeah, you're not gonna hear from me. So that's a difference I noticed. Yeah. And then in the States also, of course, we have like a plethora of people that's from all over the world. And all that, and everybody, of course, like, you know, the American dream. Everybody wants the American dream. And what I noticed in Europe was like, some places, like some countries I've been to, they're very prideful of where they're from. Whereas Americans were also prideful of where we're from too. Yeah. But like, they have more different like customs and culture that they have that we don't. You know, if you're from a different country, you'll celebrate that and you do certain things. Whereas not like the whole country would do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, that's what I noticed. Like, they're very like festivals and all this and all that. So it's very different.
Yeah, I think I would agree. One of the biggest things I have noticed personally is like that difference in, you know, being a workaholic, you know, chasing that American dream, right? So where do you personally like see yourself on a spectrum of like, I'm just gonna work and enjoy my life, to I need to get my shit together because I need to be this amount of wealthy, you know, by a certain age? Because I feel like a lot of people, you know, feel a lot of pressure to be or to have like a certain amount or have certain material. It's really like a materialistic thing. By a certain age, where would you say you are on like that spectrum of feeling like you need that or don't? And then to caveat from that, what advice would you give to people, you know, that feel like they need to have a certain level of...
Okay, so as of right now in my 30s, I'm actually, of course, I strive to be better. I strive to want more. I strive to, of course, like everybody's going to want to do that. But as far as like, I really need it, it's not like a big push as it was in my 20s. Of course, I would still like to be in a certain level. I still like to have like, you know, be like really stable, like, you know, certain things. But as far as like, if it's going to be like, I'm going to kill myself to get it, no. So it's just not, that's not me right now. It's more of like I said, I have a work-life balance. Like, you know, I don't know if you noticed earlier, before we even started doing this interview, I was actually calling one of the person. Yeah, I was actually working. So like, I was like, oh, I'm here in the office now. Let me just work on this real quick. But no, I try to have this work-life balance where I'm like, I still could achieve what I need when I'm like at work. I still could achieve where I want to be while like, off of work too. So it's like I'm trying to, I think I got a good balance on it, but sometimes I of course when you get in something, you kind of step off and like, dang, and you come back on. So I think that's where I'm at right now. So I'm not like really pressed about it, but a good advice I'll tell people honestly is like, don't listen to what like society is telling you. This is the time you should have this and that. Like everybody's different. You're gonna experience different things. Life happens. We're not robots where everybody's gonna have the same life and the same aspiration, the same goals, the same like I don't want to say luck, but the same like drive, ambition that someone else has. So don't compare yourself one, and then know that like you're gonna get it. Like it's not like you have to get it at this age. You don't get it at that age, guess what? You're still alive, healthy, like God's willing, and you could still try for the next year. So don't like just kill yourself and be like, by 25, because that was me. By 25, I want to be married. I'm going to marry my high school sweetheart. I'm going to have kids and all this stuff. The military was never in my mind, So that was like before I even because I joined when I was 22. Yeah. So that wasn't in my mind at all, So, but like I tell people, like now when I look back at it, I'm just like, you was rushing because society's telling you like, you should be married like at least in your 20s and you should have kids by this age. And boy, you just like breathe right in my face. But you should have this and this and that. So like now, like of course, like I said, I do stumble because like I'm like, oh, I'm at this age, like I don't have somebody right now, and it's like, what is going on? I don't have no kids right now. What is going on? But like when I look back at him, it's like, you know what? It's okay. Like I'm okay because I know that God has someone for me, and I know that God has a plan, and I can't force it in my time. It's God's time. So at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm still working behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying like, oh Lord, take everything, and the Lord said give it to Him. I'm just like, oh Lord, I'm just gonna sit back and just be like, no. So I'm still like, working towards certain things, but at the same time, I'm just like, and not in a big push or rush than I was like when I was younger. So I think that's where I'm at now.
Okay, so earlier, a second ago, you were talking about passions, right? So you joined when you were 22.
Yeah.
Right? So you're coming up on how many years
of
service?
Telling my age.
You ain't got to tell your age.
No, I don't care now.
How long you been in?
So it's 11 years now. It's gonna be 12 in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
You doing a 20 piece?
I actually signed for indefinite. Yeah, they got me.
Oh.
Yeah.
They got her, but
they got me last year.
So, what are some things that you're passionate about? Because you signed that indefinite contract, so that's it, right? So there has to be a level of love or maybe passion or certain level of drive that you have to put your name on that paper. So what is that for you?
All right, so in the military, what drives me, my passion, you could say, is actually soldiers. Believe it or not, is like I might complain, of course, being a leadership role, but it's the soldiers. Like knowing that you're making a difference within their military career and also like professional career, and then also like civilian lifestyle. That actually what drives me. And of course, another drive is like education. So that's something that like drives me. And of course, the travels, whatever. Yeah. But like education too. Like, okay, like I literally was just thinking, I was like, all right, Samcess, like you took a 2-year break, hiatus now. You got to get back into your master's. What's going on? So I'm like, I need to get back to my master's. But the thing that drives me. Anything else? No. Like formation don't drive me.
Oh yeah,
PT don't drive me.
Well, we know that. Look.
I don't drive me.
We know that.
I don't wake up in the morning and be like,
Yeah, nobody's getting up for that. What's your master's in? Where are you getting a master's
So
in?
I have my bachelor's right now in health service management. So I can work in like nursing homes. Like I'll be managing like nursing homes, facilities and all that stuff, hospitals and all that. So I'm looking at doing my master's into that also, into like the health field, because that's what I've been doing. As you heard me from like Kentucky, University of Kentucky to Clayton State, it was all like, health field.
Yeah.
So that's like my passion.
So what you do now in the military, you are don't tell me, religious affairs specialist.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, religious affairs specialist. So what made you want to choose that?
To be honest, so I didn't want to choose it actually. I actually wanted to be a 68 Juliet, which is the logistics for the medical.
Okay.
And the time I went back to the recruit station, it was like, hey, you got to get something from your doctor, whatever. You're missing this form. So it was like, just get that and you should be good. So when I came back, it was gone. So I was like, well, drats. And then there was
Gone.
you could be 42 alpha. And I'm like, all right, cool. And there was like, oh, wait, this needs another stamp. And I'm like, you guys are just playing with me. So I was like, all right, cool. Because I was like, in a sense, I was like in a rush to leave because I was just like, I don't want to start another semester and like, pain, da, da, da.
Yeah.
And I was kind of in a rush to leave. And I was like, I want to leave before the semester starts, in a sense. So then when I came back, 42 was gone. And then there was just like, well, we got 92 Yankee. And I was like, what is that? Well, logistics. And I'm like, okay. It's
Supply.
like, yeah. And I was like, so, now, what I know now, I'm glad I didn't do that. But it actually came with airborne. And I was like, who's jumping out of someone's helicopter?
They almost got me to do that.
Not me. So I was like, no. So I was like, forget it. I'll just come back next month. And they were just like, wait, hold up. There's 56 Mike. And I was like, what is that? And the time I joined, which was back in 2013, it was actually called chaplain assistant.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'm not nobody's assistant. Like, that's dead. And they was just like, well, when you enlist side, you're basically working for an officer, like, So I was just like, what is that? And the guy, he happened to the head honcho in the recruiting station. He happened to be a chaplain assistant. So he came out and told me, and he's like, since you're like, your goal is to finish your education and this is what you're passionate about, like, this will be good for you because you could get stationed anywhere in the world. Hence why I went to Japan. And then they was just like...
Japan is not a place that...
a lot of people get. No, they don't. So I was blessed to actually get that for my first assignment. I was like, the Lord looks out for me. Shout out to the Lord. You see what I'm talking about? Shout out to the Lord. But so he was just like, you can finish school. And then he was like, and then you could also like travel during, do what you could do. And I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah. So when I was like, all right. So when I went to MEPS, it was available. And it was like, you'll be leaving in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, okay. So let my grandma tell it. The Lord, was showing me this, and Peggy, I grew up in the church. So she was just like, this is what you need to do. This is what, they're supposed to do. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm just like, I just joined because this was the only job that was basically like available in the 2 weeks time I was trying to leave.
When I joined, honestly, like I was like, all right, I'm only doing this for 4 years. Like, the whole, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was really just because of the money. Like I got a bonus attached with mine. Yeah, I was broke at the time, so I was like, man, they said 5,000. I was like,
before taxes or after taxes? Exactly. You didn't know.
I didn't know that, but when they said it, I was like, oh yeah, sign me up right now, because I was like, what, $5,000? But yeah, I didn't really have any. I really didn't want to do it in the first place. Yeah. But I just kind of ended up doing it, right? So you've been in for 11 years. Why didn't you reclass?
So, good question. Why didn't you reclass? Ooh, crazy. No, honestly, I could have reclassed, but honestly, I think I just kind of get complacent. And like I said, the job is not bad. And with this job, like I'm making a difference that I don't really realize I'm making a difference sometimes. Like, because with this job, we're communicating with a lot of people, and we also have 100% confidentiality. Not saying that, I want to know everybody's business, because really, I really don't. Because when you do that, it takes on like a lot on you. And that's why they tell us, like, since we have 100% confidentiality, we can't go back and say, so-and-so said so-and-so, because we lose our clearance. So, what we had to tell us to do is like kind of like focus on our mental health too. And I think that with this job, I like realized like the walks of life from different duty stations I've been in. I'm just kind of like, you know what, I'm making a difference. Like, even when it comes to like the smallest thing, and people confide in me, people like actually build that trust. And with us in the formation, like, because we're there to like make sure like the spiritual welfare of soldiers, and even some civilians that we work with is like, good, and is at a standard where they could like continue on with the mission. I think that also like helps me and rejuvenates me, and also does drain me too. So I think that's why I haven't really reclassed, because it was just kind of like, ooh, the thought of like going back to AIT, going back to TRADOC and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, do I really want to be with like these little young Joes like doing this at this age. Like, I think that's why I was kind of like, I don't know. I think I'll just keep it as it is. And it's not a real hard like MOS for real. It could be demanding at times. Like this assignment I'm in now, which is Garrison, is kind of demanding. But yeah, I'm still able to still like have that time where I could finish school, like do things in school, like still be able to travel and all that stuff. So I think that's why I haven't really wanted to like really focus on reclassing. I was trying to go to like officer route, going to social work, so I could do a degree in social work, but unfortunately, with my time in service, that kind of like hindered me to go for like further. Then I was looking into like OCS, and I'm like, oh, the only reason why I don't want to do OCS is because I don't want to like be rucking 12 miles, like So I'm just like, I think what it is like I'm just trying to find like a easy way, and I'm just like, no, Samcess, like that I remember like one of the chaplains, he told me like, when you get complacent and comfortable, that's when like the Lord will sit there and like shake it up real quick, and you just be like, whoa, I'm complacent and comfortable. That means I have to like, strive more and like want more. So now I'm just like, okay, well, maybe I should start rucking so I don't be complacent. So if I do want to go OCS, I could still like drop a packet in to be an officer. But then you be an officer, you're not really involved with the soldiers as much. It's more like the enlisted side is involved with the soldiers.
So you're passionate about, the soldiers and everything.
Yeah.
Your job it's important. A lot of people come to you and, sit down and confide in you, and that's, you're a green. So if you look, she knows, y'all don't know, but we met at an event.
Yeah.
And they did like this thing where your color personality type thing. Yeah, we were both in the same group because we were both greens. I'm not gonna explain what green is, but you can imagine. Maybe
another video he will probably explain that.
Yeah, maybe y'all explain it in another video. So how important has keeping your own mental health up to par been for you, and what are some things that you have done to, make that happen?
All right, so I think it's for me it's very important because what I've noticed, and like I said, like I always stumble back, I'm not perfect, and I'll never say I'm perfect. Is that what I've noticed is that when it comes to mental health, like we kind of like try to downplay it, like no, I'm okay, it's fine, whatever, brush it off. And what I've noticed for my own mental health is that like if I'm not okay, I'm not gonna be okay for other people.
Right.
I'm gonna like be kind of short, like a little distant. I'm gonna be very like agitated, and I'm not gonna be like a pleasant person to be around. I'm not gonna be that joyful person. You just be like, oh, what's going on? And I've noticed that I'm very withdrawn, and I'm very like to myself, and I don't like feeling like that because again, it's just kind of like I don't want to make it seem like it's a woe me effect, but it's more like why is this all happening to me, and like no one understands, and da 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 da. So it's just like, it kind of becomes like a woe me. And it's like, it's everybody like them, instead of like, what am I doing? Like, what's going on? So when it comes to my mental health, I really try to like take that serious. And I've really took it more serious. Like, growing up, you don't, like going to an African household, like they just be like, pray to God. God knows everything. You don't have to go tell Dick, Tom, and Harry, Bailey, and Sue, but God. And it's just like, I know he's there, but is he answering back? Like, what I'm saying? Like, it's like, he's like questioning, like, what's going on? Like, and then of course, you go talk to some of your friends, and like, their advice is going to be like something that you probably don't want to hear.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. You kind of be like, I'm not talking to nobody. So, of course, you harboring it all in. And again, it's like, them. And it's like, what about me? But I had surgery in 2022 on my wrist for a carpal tunnel, and then also my medium lateral nerve.
What happened to your wrist?
One day I was working, just typing, and I went home, and then I was also like doing schoolwork, trying to finish up my degree. And I remember I went to sleep, and I'm like, damn, like my hand hurts. So you know how you fall asleep, and then your hands like you just like tingles and pain and numbness. You just kind of like, oh, go away, it's just sleep. And I was like, it's gonna go away. It didn't go away. And it's like a week later, I'm like, what's going on? And that's when
Where did that come from? Like, it came from like typing,
like where my position is.
I've heard of people getting that.
So a couple ton of So like when you use your hand a lot, you're not doing the stretches or like actually like taking a break and all that stuff. You can get carpal tunnel. And that ended up happening. So when I came from the Netherlands to Germany, and I was like, yo, this is like painful. Like even doing like push-ups, like pressing down, I was like, I can't, this even times where I'm like waking up from my sleep, it was painful. So then I had surgery. It was my first surgery ever. So I actually had my dad and my cousin from London came to stay with me because my first surgery ever, I was going to be on like, those like high drug medications. And I'm like, I don't like taking medications. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to react to it. And plus I have a dog, like you guys seen. And then also like, it's my right hand, my dominant hand. So I wasn't able to do a lot of stuff. So I was like, I just need my family with me. And I noticed that with that, and then like, I kind of lived a little bit away from like the base. Now I live kind of closer, but I live a little bit away, like about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And I noticed that like a lot of people wasn't as supportive as I thought I would, like they would be, as like vice versa. I'm supportive to them, and I wasn't getting that. And I know my mental health started going down. And I started like having really bad anxiety. I don't really have anxiety. And I was just like, and the anxiety came from more of like, what if someone bumps into my hand? Like, what if I can't hold the tray? Because I did drop, a couple months after surgery, I did drop a tray. So I was like, what if people laugh at me? What if I can't do this? What
The
if I can't do
surgery was like, what did they?
They open up my nerves, so they just basically, because it started narrowing down, so it's pinching. So when it's pinching, the blood flow is not flowing through properly. So that's where you get the like the numbness and the tingleness from, and then like the like little like needles.
It makes it hard for you to like hold things.
Hold things and touch things, and then also my medium nerve, so it comes from the elbow,
Oh,
which
wow.
was also like so made it weak. So even now, if I like press certain ways, I could just feel like a little shoot up. I'm just like, oh man. So like,
Wow.
yeah. So I was just like, man. So my mental health went down. And I noticed like the soldiers, like they was just kind of like, because I had soldiers, S6 soldiers, and they call me mom. There's like, mom, and I'm just like, I don't want to talk. And I was just like, there's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't want to be around people. Like I noticed I was being very like, leave me alone, leave me alone. It was just like, Mom, I think you should go home. Like something's wrong. Like you're not okay. And I was like, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. But I was very agitated. I was very just annoyed. I didn't want to be around nobody. Everybody annoyed me. And that's when I was like, yeah, my mental health. Like I need to take care of myself. So I actually did start going to therapy. I went to like group sessions and like anxiety group sessions, so I could like talk about anxiety and like what's happening, like with me. And then also on top of that, I'm like on nerve medication, so of course medication like affects how you feel. So I had to like work through like when I feel like this, where do I go? I need to get out of like a dark place and all that stuff. So it was big. It was big, and then it's crazy because I'm MRT level 2, so the master resilience trainer. And it's good because I can like tell everybody to like, hey, like, be happy, like think about positive things and blah, blah, blah. But then I was also realized I wasn't doing it for myself. So I had to like get myself back together. I had to go to therapy. And I would say therapy is, I feel like everybody should probably go to therapy because there's something you can talk about. Something that you probably don't realize that like really bothering you, or like even something so small like, man, I crossed the street today and the guy looked at me and smiled and that made me happy. You can talk about that with somebody. It's okay. Like, and I think with therapy it actually helped. And then also like my boundaries. I started setting up boundaries too. Like sometimes I'll tell you, like sometimes my boundary, I'll be like, yeah, I set this boundary. And later I'll be like, well, this is one time. So again, like I told you, I always like kind of, I'm not perfect, but setting up boundaries and going therapy, like actually expressing, or even like trying to write, I wasn't writing no more because my hands hurting too much.
Yeah.
But like doing voice audios or like even like typing something out if I can. It helped me like kind of express how I'm feeling. So I'm not harboring it inside. And because when you're stressed out, it's like your body just kind of just like, you just feel heavy all the time. Like you just don't feel yourself. Like you just kind of like, well, what's going on? So I think with those tools I'm learned and I'm still learning is like helping me. And I would advocate for people just to seek help because mental health is big. Like you just don't realize it, but it's honestly really big and it affects you in so many ways. And then also like it affects your joints, your nervous system, your muscles, like everything. Cause I had to like reprogram my thinking. Like, hey, this hurts right now. It's okay. Like your body's okay. Like you're going to be fine. Like push through it. Like, you'll be okay. Like you're not going to be in danger. Cause my body was saying like, you're in danger, you're in danger. So I had to like rethink like, you're not in danger. It just hurts for like 2 seconds. Like, come on, like you could do it. Like it's going to stop hurting. And I had to think that like that. So like now, am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I go to occupational therapy for my hands and all stuff, but like I'm okay when it comes to like the thinking I had before. So yeah.
Okay. You still go to therapy for your hands?
I do. Like, I do go to occupational therapy because I compensated a lot with my left hand, my left arm, I should say. So now it's affecting me. It's been affecting me for like about a year, some change now. So I have to like try to strengthen that and like calm down my nerves because now my nerves, because they were talking about having surgery again to kind of open up because they looked at it and it was like, Yeah, so there's looking at it and saying like you're like it's narrow and like nerves is like it's pinching. That's why I'm like having pain. And I was like, I don't want to do surgery again because like the effect of the surgery kind of like made my mood and how I
Yeah.
felt. I was like, I don't want to do it again. So like I'm still in like occupational therapy. I'm in pain management, just to like try to like try to work through the pain, like try to figure out like avenues to like comfort the pain. So I do get like steroid injections in my wrist. I do get it like about like every 2 months. It's painful, so we could try to avoid it.
Trust me, I will.
We try to avoid it. It's very painful. I just got it like before I went to Copenhagen. Actually, what was it last week? I just had it last week on the 12th, and I was just like, this is horrible. Like I every time I go there, I'm just like, but I do go through that because I said I didn't want to have surgery. So right now it's like, what avenues can I do to like relieve and like help me strengthen and also kind of like relieve the pain. So like, yeah, so I have to do these like occupational therapies and.
Okay, so during that time, like during this, like, because I mean that's a strong form of adversity. You know, I don't know what I would do if I couldn't like use my hands, but
Yeah, it's a lot.
yeah. So you said that you were writing.
I was typing. So like writing a lot, typing, because like I work.
No, like to cope. Like you said you were
Yeah, I
writing.
used to write. Yeah, I used to like write how I feel. Like like it's not like I write poetry. Like it was just more like how I was feeling.
Like a diary.
Yeah, like a little diary, a little journaling. I would say a little diary.
Diary. No, I was just playing.
A little diary, maybe. But no, I was writing just to like kind of like just like bring out thoughts and like also like, when you see something on paper, like when you write something down or like, you're seeing like what happened throughout the day. Like it wasn't like all like bad. It was just more like, okay, this happened today, and it'd be like something that's so small, like this soldier came and brought me like flowers or whatever. Or my soldier made me laugh. This was so funny. It's like I look back at it, and I'm just like, those are good moments that I had. That like, because like you're expressing yourself, and it's like I said, like if you feel like you can't talk to like someone, you're like basically talking to yourself.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like, let me just jot down real quick what happened or whatever the case may be. And then also like in MRT, like, they talk about it like, write things that happen. You could write like about like if you have something that bad that happened, what good happened after that. So that's like a bounce back resiliency. So like it was like I say like I was annoyed. Like for example, I'd be like, I was just so annoyed with the soldier. The soldier irritated me because the soldier like dropped this mission that's supposed to happen, just fell off or whatever. And I'll come back and be like, but I realized we had a good time during lunch because we was laughing about that, like something like that. So it was like more of me writing down how I was feeling a lot. So even like after when I had surgery, I was like doing more voice audios. And I think that's where I kind of got into like the YouTubing and traveling because like I would take pictures. I love taking pictures. Like I'd be like, good side. But I love taking pictures. And then I realized I was like, one of my friends was like, you like traveling.
Yeah.
Like talk about it. Like, and I'm like, okay. So I like, pick up the camera and I'm like, let me just like look at it and do little videos. I started doing my phone at first and then like it got to a camera. And then even like some of my videos, like it's like personal to me. I'm not going to post on YouTube.
Yeah.
Would not happen. Maybe a little snippet, like maybe a little quick, but it's more like I'm talking to myself like, Samcess, why are you thinking like this? Or like, why do you feel like this happened? Or what's going on? So it's like more like it's like a diary, little journal and all that stuff. And like, so I was doing that before.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you how your YouTube started.
Yeah, I was actually in the Netherlands because when I travel, I do take videos. I do have my old like phones. I have also drives. I have videos of like me when I travel, like I was in Japan and like.
So you just have a bunch of footage.
I do, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys follow my YouTube channel, let me tell you something right now. There's a lot of footage.
It's gonna be in the bio.
Even looked at. And I was talking about that before. I was just like, the editing parts was get to me. I'm just like, the editing parts just drive me crazy. I'm just like, if I just have the money to pay someone to edit, then I'll just have them pay. But like, yeah. So like, I love taking pictures. Like, you look at my phone, I have probably like 20,000 some pictures. Like I love taking pictures.
20,000.
Like it's a lot. But no, so they were just like, since you love traveling, especially me being in Europe, and it was so easy to just travel. Like it's easy to travel when you're in Europe. And they were just like, why don't you just like record your travels? Because a lot of people are probably going to ask you questions, which they do. Like, did you go here? And how much did it cost? And what did you do? And how did you move here? Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, why don't you do like a YouTube? And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'll think about it. So for the longest, I was trying to put it off because I was just like, one,
Yeah.
I was telling him earlier, you guys don't know, I was telling him like, believe it or not, like, I was like, this is going to be a 15-minute like interview because, but no,
I
I'm
know it
actually
wasn't gonna
like,
be 15 minutes.
it's probably longer than that. But I'm actually like, I want to say like I'm not like I'm shy, like I'm like intro extrovert. So I forgot what it's called, but I'm that. So I am kind of like reserved. I do like my peace. I do like so talking, and I just said it the other day. We had training, and I stood up and had to speak, and I was like, oh, being an NCIC, like Jesus. But I was like literally like I told him straight up like, hey, I don't really like talking in front of people. Like I don't like I get nervous and everything. But I was just like, but I have to like relax and then I could do it. So even sometimes on camera, like you won't see me like looking directly in the camera. I'm just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm still talking. Like, because it's like, it's like me. But it's like, I'm just like, why are you so shy? Like, what's going on? Like, like, so that's why I was just like, no, it's okay. So that's why there's a lot of footage I probably just like, I just have. And then one day I was just like, COVID happened. And I was like, you know what? I'm still traveling. Let me like actually record like these things. So when I have my kids, they could watch some of the footage and be like, my mom was here. Like my mom was here because I told myself like, I want my kids to be able to experience traveling as well.
Yeah.
In the future, I want them to join the military if they want to, but in reality, I probably would not tell them no. I probably tell them like go finish college, enjoy life. Like, if you want to join. Well, how many kids?
Yeah, how many?
Oh, I want 4 kids, like 2 girls, 2 boys. So if you guys want to find me, you can link me. Yeah, I just want kids. If you have twins in your family, I'll be great. But no, but yeah, I want them to experience like life. But I want them to look back and be like, mom was here. And I want them to experience also like, oh, I went here when like, this year, my mom went there this year back in the day. How's it different? So yeah, so that I just picked up the camera one day and it's like, and we got video. And then living in Germany, also like, think about it, African-American military woman, like living in Europe where a lot of people don't have the opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, why not vlog it? Why not vlog your like day-to-day life? But the problem with that is like, we're in the military. It's not like I'm a civilian. So like, bringing the camera to work is kind of not ideal. Like, I'm just sitting in the office unless I'm like, and if you go to like show around, they're gonna be like, you can't record on base. So it's like, so you can't really could do much. So the only time I really like could record for real is like, if I'm like on the weekends, go to a grocery store, if I'm traveling. That's why my page is more like kind of like traveling, because on the weekends I'm more like I'm gonna chill, like I'm gonna decompress.
So do you have like people make content for different reasons.
Yeah.
So are you looking at this YouTube and it's like, all right, I'm trying to hit 1 million subscribers, or is it kind of just like, you know what, I'm gonna just post it and let it be. I'm not even gonna look at the analytics. I'm not gonna look into that. I'm just gonna share it, and that's how it is.
So at first, when I first started, of course, because it was during COVID, so I was like, oh, you hear people making money. And I told you I was in that space where I was like, I need to make money. I need to do whatever. And then that was me before, but now I'm just like, I'm just posting it just to post it, and whoever gets like, even if it's like 1 view, and they get something out of it, then that's okay for me. Like, it's not like I'm just like, I want to make 1 million subscribers and all that stuff because, and it's funny, 'cause I was just telling my girl this in Copenhagen. I was telling her, I was just like, lately, like, was talking about this, and I think I actually recorded the conversation.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, I said, when you like make it to like a certain level, you can become an influencer or all that stuff, that gives people time to come into your life.
Yeah.
And they come in and say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
They're going to come out in the woodworks and be like, yeah, when she was like 2 years old, she slapped me. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I tell the soldiers here, I tell people now, like, I don't really like people in my business and start pushing my business. So there's certain things like,
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So like, I think with like me, if I blow up, it's going to get people trying to dig in to see like, who is the real Samcess? Like, what is she about? Like, she can't always be this happy. Who like actually like came and crossed like paths with her? How did she behave? What is like, what's she about? Blah, blah, blah. And then you might have those people like from the past that be hating and you was like, arguing with or whatever you had beef with or whatever. They come out and be like, yeah, me and her and she did da 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 da. So it was like, that's why I'm like, I'm just doing it just to like, just for me, just to like say like, okay, whatever. I'm not doing it to blow up and all of a sudden I have all these people that come out the woodworks because, again, if I clap back, then I'm bringing the whole family with you.
Do you get comments on your videos?
I do get some comments. I do, like, that's the thing. So
Are any of them negative?
Actually, no, I have not. Like, and I even if it's negative, like, I'm not gonna clap back, like, because again, I'm like, I do take constructive criticism. Sometimes I'm probably like, I know they lying, but like, I honestly, like, it's okay, and I tell people, like, you have to be transparent, like, especially when you're putting yourself out there. You're gonna get someone who might say like, "Ooh, her wig was really bad," or "Ooh, you can see her edges, it's really horrible." Like, you're gonna get those people that's gonna say that, and all you can just do is just bust them with a smile and just be like, "Thank you, love. I'm glad you're beautiful as you. Keep it moving." But as far as like right now, negative videos, I haven't gotten like any negative comments, and if I did, I'm not gonna clap back. Like, I'm not gonna be like rude to be like, "Look at your face and your teeth and blah blah." No, I'm gonna probably like be like, okay, like, if you're gonna say something negative, like, I want you, if I ask you a question like, okay, what if you didn't like, what do you not like about this video? What do you like? What is negative about this video? I hope you respond back and like actually be transparent, like, oh, this is what it is, X, Y, and Z, because you're entitled to your own opinion. Again, that's when you go on social media. Everybody's gonna be entitled to their own opinion.
Do you post on? You post on
TikTok also.
TikTok. I hate TikTok so much.
TikTok is addicting. Like, I just actually made a post. I went to my first K-pop concert. Yay, pop that cherry. And I literally just posted a video. But before that was like October. So I'm not really like as frequent, like my YouTube channel. I'm not really as frequent with that either. So, but I post a lot on IG. But even then, when I look at it too, my pictures, I don't really be posting for real. Or Facebook, like, I really don't be posting for real.
I'm probably gonna use one of your pictures on the thumbnail.
Oh, I could just what picture? Hold on.
I'm gonna show you which one before I do it.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't pick a picture. I'm just saying here. I can just send you the photo now.
Yeah. Or you can just send it to me now.
Yeah. I was like, wait, hold on. What picture are you gonna use? Look at me, look like a beluga whale.
Yeah, no.
Crazy. Crazy.
So.
Got you.
You did. Look,
train of thought just gone. You
just killed it. Oh my gosh. Oh man. All right. Yeah, you just ruined.
I understand.
You just killed.
Well, let me ask you then. While I'm trying to bring it back. So
Go ahead.
You have YouTube. Like, are you doing it to make 1 million subscriber? Are you trying to make money from it? Like,
Man,
what are you doing it for?
I want to make 1 million subscribers.
Okay.
I want to make money, but like, on the real, that's not the reason I started the podcast. I started the podcast because a couple years ago, like 2021, me and my boy Turner, I just shouted him out in a couple episodes now, but me and my boy Turner, we done talked. Like, he was like, man, I'm trying to start a podcast, and I was like, yeah, we should do that. And then nothing ever really came out of it.
Okay.
A lot of conversations are had, but not a lot of actions taken.
Yeah.
And with my boy Des, shout out to Desmond.
Desmond and Turner.
Me and him was talking about it real heavy.
Okay.
I actually made a YouTube channel. It was for us two to collab. We never posted any videos.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just hard because I'm in Colorado and he's in California, and then, or at the time, but now it's even harder because I'm in Germany and he's in Hawaii. So
well, look at it. Look at what's his name, Oche Cinco and Shay Shay, Uncle Shay. Like if you look at it, they have like they're different cities, but they're just recording at the same time, and if you do like that, or you look at what's his name, Travis Kelsey, the football player that just lost. He's in the Chiefs.
I don't know.
Him and his brother, whatever. He was playing for the Eagles. Both played for the Eagles at the time, and they also like do it. Like they'd be like in different part of the world, and they still do their podcast. So it could be possible.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah, you can. All you gotta do is have the mic, and y'all just like recording from like y'all different angles.
Yeah.
So you need the mic, you need all that stuff to podcast because it's not cheap to do some of this stuff. Like I just like you gotta invest in the camera. You gotta do all this. It's a lot. It does come with a lot, and you guys can still do it. Different part of the world. Just y'all not gonna be face to face all the time.
I do need a camera. I ain't gonna lie. Look, y'all gonna know when I get a camera because you gonna see the quality go from here to. But it costs a couple thousand. You know what I'm saying?
But you're starting off, so it's good. So
Yeah.
like I said, don't beat yourself up. Like, you're getting there. Like I said, I
I
was
do be
recording for
beating
my.
myself up
That's
though.
the thing. You see what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Like, we have to stop doing that, because when we start thinking negative, it's like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. I'm not doing this. I'm not here. I'm not here. You're doing it right now. Like, you're literally doing
100%.
it right now. And it's not
100%.
stopping you. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, don't let things stop you. Like, I was recording from my phone, and back in the day, the quality of the phone was not that great.
Yeah.
Like, it was not. But I have like some recordings from my phone. And I'm just like, even if I posted, I don't even care. Like, at least I did something. I was starting it. So like, don't even think that way at
Yeah.
all.
That's honestly like that was the reason why I started it was because I was like, man, like I want something outside of like my work,
Yeah.
outside of my job that like I can call like mine.
Mine.
This is like my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone has their thing. Everyone, does their thing, but this is my thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm learning a lot, about the podcasting space and a lot about myself as well. Doing this, like I've had to learn that it's not just getting in front of the camera and like talking. Like if you look at podcasts that you actually enjoy, if you look at the host and you pay attention to like how they carry the conversation, it's not like you're just sitting down and talking, right?
Yeah.
They're like walking the conversation, like driving the conversation this way or that way, asking certain questions, to go down a certain path, because of whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah.
And there is such thing. What I've learned is like there is such thing as being like a good or a bad host, or a host that's really good or a host that's not that good. For
Yeah.
example, Club Shay Shay, I was literally listening to him. I was literally listening to the latest episode on the way over here.
Yeah.
Just because I just enjoy, like Shannon Sharp. I've been watching him since Undisputed, but him in the podcasting space, like
Yeah.
he's a great host. Like how he asks questions, how he really like digs deep into whoever he has on and stuff like that. So I actually like take this seriously and try to like get better at my craft. Like
Yeah.
everything from like driving conversation to speaking, like my speech. But yeah, I pay attention to those type of things.
That's
So
good.
yeah. But honestly, I love doing this. Like, what's up, little dude? I
Come
love
here.
doing this. It's and I said this last episode. I can say this every episode, but I do love doing this. Like the actual like recording it and like doing this
Yeah.
is very enjoyable. I hate editing.
Oh.
And the reason why it's not even that I hate editing that much, it's that my computer is slow. So I have a I use Filmora to edit my videos, and as soon as I bring up the software to edit my videos and then I put the video on the timeline, my computer just starts lagging real bad, and I'm sitting here trying to add every time I add something on there,
Okay.
it just moves slower and slower, and then I'm over here trying to watch the playback, and it's like
So you don't know what you're getting back. Okay.
yeah. So I had to
Invest.
let the video render, and then yeah. But honestly, like I mean, the equipment and stuff will come. I just try to
Yeah.
make sure that like every episode is better than the last in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up right there. That was definitely
Okay.
longer than 15 minutes.
It was.
I got her to sit down for more than 15 minutes, so I'm gonna pat myself on the
Crazy.
back for that. Appreciate you for coming on,
Of course.
being a guest on my podcast. I will be linking her YouTube in the bio as well as her Instagram. I'll put her Instagram right above her head. Any other socials?
Right here.
Yeah, it'll be like right there.
Right there.
Any other socials?
You could do TikTok, like I said.
Yeah,
I
I'll put her TikTok up there too. Make sure y'all go show love.
And I show love back too, like I do.
She'll show love
I
back.
do.
If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm really big on those comments. Please leave a comment. because they helped me get better. Somebody did leave a comment one time on one of my videos, and it was like, "Look, I don't really think you know what you're talking about."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, at first, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, but after looking at the video, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So leave a comment, turn on post notifications. Yes, sir. And without further ado, without not further ado, we out.
Bye, y'all, and share this video. Thank you, guys.
Let me see how long that was. So,
hold on, wait. Sorry, work.
no, you're
sorry,
good.
Sorry.
See that work-life balance? You see that? But nah, for real. No,
I'm done.
You're good.
Oh yes.
What happened?
No, it was, I'm an Eastern Star, so we have an event on the 8th, and I was looking at the calendar, and I'm like, what's going on the 8th? And she just said it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just chop this up and then like slide it in there.
Yeah, that's what I say. Just slide it right in.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like a little intermission.
A little break and be like, we came back to think about life.
I can't wait till I can get some sponsors so I can.
You do what you gotta do, cut it, and then be like, this sponsor video.
this video is sponsored by. Yeah, I can't wait. All right, so
this video is sponsored by Samcess. Shout out. I'm just kidding.
Shout out. So you were saying that your relationship, right? You had to cut it off because you were coming into the military and like you were leaving, or
no? Okay, so high school sweetheart. Oof, not to go too deep into it. No, not too deep. No, my high school sweetheart. So when I moved to Georgia, I actually met somebody. And, young high school love, like, oh my gosh, she's the best thing since sliced bread. And he's a year older. So he went to college before I did.
Okay.
Of course, the high school, you're on and off. And he went to college. And I had different, actually, scholarships. So different colleges, like University of Alabama, Valdosta State, Georgia State. And he went to the University of Kentucky because he was playing football for them at the time, before he got injured. And then I was going to go to Alabama. And of course, young love, it was like, oh, you don't know, if you go to different school, we're going to probably compete together. And I was just kind of like, well, drats. But then luckily I did get a full ride scholarship also to the University of Kentucky. So I did go follow him, not going to sugarcoat it. So I did go, I picked that school to follow. My family was just kind of like pick someone different. Don't go there because we want you to focus on school and education. Because again, shout out to the Africans. You guys know we are big on school and education. You don't have a boyfriend until you have your master's degree. Until you graduate. But no, so and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna focus and all stuff. So I did go, and during that time, of course, infidelity happens. And unfortunately, domestic violence happens.
Oh.
So
okay.
yeah, so it was just kind of like I had to leave. It wasn't healthy from both our ends. It was toxic. So when I was leaving, I guess that's when when they say what you got until it's gone, and then that's when it was like, wait, hold up, I was treating you wrong, and I didn't mean to, and I was just in this place. I want to do this for you, and I'm just like, no, I was losing myself. I was getting angry a lot. I'm sitting there arguing with people, females. That's not me. I'm not gonna go out there and start a fight. That's not who I am, And I was arguing. I'm just who has the energy? And I was doing that a lot, and I was I wasn't in a good headspace. And that's why I left Kentucky with a partial scholarship, and I didn't want to just completely lose my scholarship, and all that stuff. So I went to Virginia, and still during that time it was my first love.
Yeah.
I'm young, I'm just 18, 19. I'm just that's my baby. That's my man. So then Virginia, I had to because we both live in Georgia, and kind of find out he was moving back home. And I didn't want people to say oh, she came home because of him, even though I left first, but I didn't want people to have that stereotype and say oh yeah, look, like they can't get enough for each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how it was. Like, it was like the couple. Like, he was a football player in high school, and I was on the step team, and all this stuff. Like, it was just like everybody felt like was meant to be married. Like, probably so now they'll probably just be like, if things didn't go wrong, y'all would be together right now. We would have probably been together with kids. Like, the 4 kids I was talking about, they be running around. But I would not be here. But no, so I had to like go, and I think during that time I didn't like have like self like worth and love.
Yeah.
Because I was still not phased. Like I need him. Like, like this is the person I want to be with. Like, there's no one else. Like, am I good enough for somebody else? I can't be with somebody else. Like, what's going on? X, Y, and Z. And then like even like when I did try to move forward, and it was just like, how you get people is like it wasn't to say people, like kind of made it seem like you're not good enough. Like, and I was just kind of like, maybe I'm not good enough for this person, because you're right. Like, you're the only person that loves me, like will ever love me. I thought that for a while. It was a trap. It was like manipulation. Now, like you look at it, it's like manipulation, narcissistic, and all that stuff. So it was really like hard, and it was like hurtful. Like I said, like there was things that came out of that relationship, and that things that was done that I was just like, now I look back at them, just like, hell no. The Samcess now, like she would not like, and I would not want my daughters going through that. And not even my sons. Like I would not want that either. Like I'm not only saying daughters, like sons and daughters. Like So that happened, and then when I moved back to Georgia, like. It's crazy because like I still like even still to this day I'm like still like have like this like love relationship with his family. I had to like put boundaries up now. Like I'm just like, he has somebody new. I'm living my life. I don't want to like because before when I used to go home to Georgia, I used to like always make it a point to like go see them, because I was like, oh, like they're still like a part of like my family too. And then also like culturally my family is like, they didn't do nothing wrong to you. Like still show them respect. Like still like, so even their birthdays or whatever, like still call them, say hi, talk to them. Like, it's not going to hurt you. So like I was check on the family like once in a while. That's what you on the holidays. But we went back home, and before I joined the military, like I remember him telling me like, we went for a walk around the park, and he was just like, why do you want to join the military? And he didn't like the military. He like, I don't like the ideals of the military. Like I don't want them to like, change you. I don't want you to deploy and all that stuff. Like he had some caring like, things to him. But, of course, he was just kind of like, I want you. Like, I want to be with you. I love you. Like, I only love you. Like, you're the only person I want to be with. But then, like, you were saying all these nice things, but at the same time, it was like you had someone else. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, no, I just can't. I was like, I started loving myself in Virginia, finding myself. And I was like, I'm not going to sit here. Because before back in the day, I used to be like, okay, and just stop. Like, And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I met other people, dating around, like, so I'm like, I'm okay. And so then like years passed by, like him and I, like we don't speak now. There's no bad blood. Like, we talked about it. Like, it took me some time to forgive. I had to learn to forgive like him, and then also forgive myself. So I had to like I said, really love myself again. And
how hard was that process?
Oh, it's hard. If I sit here and tell you it was easy, it's a lie. Like it didn't you just wake up one morning and just be like, this is easy, like it's whatever. No, it takes time. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in 30 days, 90 days. It's not, because you have to like I said, I started like devaluing myself and started thinking like, I'm not good enough. I'm not like this person. Like, I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, no one's gonna want me because this person loved me. This person showed me this and that. So it was actually pretty hard. It did take some time, and like if my family, they'd probably be like, you wasn't yourself. Like, what was going on? Like, and you're being kind of very quiet, being very withdrawn. Like, again, like, so like looking at it now, like my mental state probably wasn't the best either then too. And like, even still to this day, like, cause we've been broken up for a while, like since like 2010. It's been years.
It's a good 15 years.
Yeah, it's been like, believe it or not. And I just talked to his grandma like during the holidays.
Man, 15 years.
Yeah, like, it's just crazy. Like, and that's like the only person I felt like I loved. Like, even till then. Like, even like, I remember like, it's just so crazy to talk about this, because literally, was it like last month? I was like, what would my life be if I was with this person? Like, I actually thought about it. I was like, man, maybe I should have like been with this person. Like, maybe I should have just like gave it a chance, like while I was in the military, and gave it a chance. Like I thought about it, because like, I think I went back to that like place. I was just like, you're single, you're overseas, it's hard to date overseas, like, so it's maybe I was just like, something like I say, something familiar, something comfortable.
Yeah.
Even though it's been all these years, but it's like, I know the reason why I was thinking about it, because I saw email, and I just typed in something, and the name popped up, and I was like reading that email traffic, and I was just like, we're arguing through email.
So,
like, 'cause we blocked each other, so we're arguing through email, like, geez, toxic.
I really want to know, like, what's like the biggest lesson you feel like you learned about like yourself after that? Because I feel like when you go through a relationship that's like not that healthy for you, you don't really realize how bad it is until after the fact. When you start to reflect. So, what do you feel like is like the biggest lesson that you learned like about yourself coming out of that?
Biggest lesson I learned coming out of that is actually to like love myself and put myself first. Like, again, I was very focused on like pleasing him, making him happy. Like, if I do this, he's not gonna be happy, and this I behave like this, not gonna be happy. And why is he mad at me today? Like, what happened? Like, what did it, like, and coming out of that, like, I had to like put myself first, where I'm just like, I'm not tolerating certain things. I'm not gonna tolerate a lot of things. Like, did I after a little bit? Yeah, because I was still in that growing, learning phase. So of course I'm gonna tolerate certain things. I'm just gonna be like, oh, like whatever. But like processing through therapy, and like of course talking about it, like writing it down. I'm just like, that wasn't the best avenue, the best approach to certain things and all that stuff. Like, you didn't put yourself first. Like, you didn't value yourself. And I literally was just telling
My
like,
bad.
you get. I literally was telling somebody, I was just like, when you don't put yourself first or value yourself, like, that's when you realize you're allowing the other person to win and to be over and control like how you're living and how you like things are supposed to go. But when you value yourself and put yourself first, like, you're not going to tolerate certain things. Like, there's certain things you might be like, okay, if I talk about this person, I care about this person, I address it. But after the like first time, the second time, third time, like, no, because again, you're bringing your mental health down. Another person might just be living their life like it's golden, like running around with lollipops in their hands, and it's like life is good, and you're over here like, like in shambles. And it's like I told you, like if you like love yourself, put yourself first, like you're not going to like you're gonna be like, it's okay. Like if you leave, it's because you're not the person for me. There's someone else for me, and it's okay. Like I might be your cup of tea, you might not be mine, but it's okay. Like we'll both be fine.
So, if you had to give a piece of advice, right, for how you can go about loving yourself, because I feel like that term gets thrown around a lot. Love yourself this and love yourself that. A lot of people say it. Forgive yourself as well. Um, it's hard, but it's it's almost not even the strongest word that you could use, right? Because something can be hard, but you still know how to do it,
Yeah.
right? It's harder when you don't know how to do
Yeah.
it, or even that you need to do it.
Yeah.
So if you had to give, just a nugget or two, right, to anyone out there, what are some things you feel like you did to help you realize that you needed to forgive yourself and then begin to love yourself?
Journaling was one, and I'm also well, for me, praying, and then just trying to figure out, like, asking the Lord for like discernment, asking the Lord for like some type of peace, and then also having that like close net, safe net community,
Yeah.
because no man's an island. You ever hear that saying, like, when you become an island, like, you're struggling. So when you don't have that community with you to help you and to like help you move and grow, it's hard. And that's why, like, back in the day, a lot of people didn't go to therapy and all that stuff, but like a lot of people was writing. You see a lot of people like do journaling. A lot of people do whatever they were doing so they could kind of like help them get over, like help them grow. I don't say get over, help them grow, because we change every day, we grow every day. So I think with that, it was just like those, and then also having that community like that where I felt safe, and I wasn't gonna be judged or ridiculed for how I felt and things that I've done. That actually helped me to like get over certain things, because when you don't feel safe with whoever you're speaking with or communicating with, you're not gonna share. You're not gonna be vulnerable. So allowing yourself to kind of get to that vulnerable state, not to the point where you're just like, I cannot move, I cannot eat, I cannot sleep, and all that stuff. But allowing you to have that, like, if it's like one person you like confide in that could like give you advice that is not going to be like, you know, I'm sorry, I know he's looking at you.
No, you're good. Sorry.
He's coming in like, well, what's up, guy? Like, having that person that's gonna like actually give you like really good advice, and is like not just advices to like you hearing like some fortunate to say some of the podcasts, and you'd be like, that's how love should be like, and you're right. No, sometimes like they experience, and having that person experience something similar, because then they'll probably tell you something they've done, and then you could kind of come together. I'm just saying like that safe community that did help. That did help. Like I'm telling you now, like when I look at it, like some people are those like very like judgmental. And that's why, like, when it came to like a lot of things, like even with dating, I was just like, no, I will not tell you. Even to this day, like I could literally have a boyfriend today, and they would just be like, you're dating somebody? No, I'm not, because like was one little thing, they would just be like, oh, why are you doing that? And like you don't feel safe talking to that person. Yeah, well, you have like I do have people I could go and talk to and be like, hey, this is where my delulu comes in, and I'm just like, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm thinking. Like, am I like, let me know, like, be transparent. Like, am I wrong or am I tripping? They'd be like, Samcess, yeah, you're kind of tripping now. Like, or they'd be like, nah, like, look at it, like, what do you think? And like, they help me process it, and like, they're not telling me what's going on. They actually help me process what's going on. So they're helping me through that journey where I'm talking to them and I'm processing while I'm talking to them. They're not telling me this how it should be, this how it needs to get done, because every relationship is different. Everybody's different. So I think that's how like I was able to kind of like learn to forgive myself. And of course, like, again, reading scriptures and all that stuff. So yeah, it took some time.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah, it was hard.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate you for sharing.
Yeah.
This podcast, it's all about talking to real people, going through real things, and that's, why I do what I do, so that, I can find people, like yourself, who have, gone through certain experiences, and, give it a nugget or two to, help somebody else.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to come across this and, maybe see themselves in you, and be able to relate, or, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And then also being in the military, it's already hard to date, y'all. Like, let's be honest. It's hard, especially overseas, because, this is my third overseas assignment. And I noticed that, like, of course, when you're in the States, like, you might have your significant other. A lot of people come overseas. And I'm not saying everybody, they have a significant other in the States or whatever. But I feel like a lot of people want to have fun and not be serious. And now this generation now is like, communication is not really happening for real. And it's like people doesn't really tell you what they want or what they're looking for. Like, they just want to have fun. And so I'm telling you, like, hey, I want to have fun. They're just sitting there like tour you along and then be like, why are we still in this talking stage and we're not even dating? Like, what's going on? Or they just be like, yeah, I really want this. And then they haven't even healed from whatever trauma they went to. So they're bringing that trauma into like the new relationship. And it's like dating overseas, and especially in the military, because we move around a lot. So you just want to find somebody and be like, I'm going to marry that person tomorrow. And then like you go to the next assignment and it'd be like down the drain, Then you be in my office telling me what's going on. Like, then you come to me and say what's going on, So it's like, yeah, it's hard. So like, you just, like I said, you got to like really like know what you want. And it's so funny because like people keep telling me like, write down what you want. You hear that a lot, like write down what you want, write your list and pray about it and all that stuff. Let me tell you, I keep saying I'm gonna do it. I still have not done it. I even said I was gonna do it this weekend. I still have not done it. I even said like, you know what? Lent is about to start. I'm about to like write out my prayer points because I want to fast for Lent. So I was just like, I'll do my prayer points. It's not only like focused on relationship, but it's also for me and like my personal and professional, like where I see myself. So that's 40 days. I'm like, clearing my mind and doing things that I need to focus on that. So I'm like cutting back on a lot of things and all that stuff. Just to keep my mind clear. And
so you going to write that stuff down today?
I am. So I'm actually going to write it down before Lent, which starts March 5th. So I need to write it down for March 5th. So next weekend, I'm really going to, like, after my 2 events I go to, the ones I told you about, I'm going to actually write down, like, prayer points and things that, like, goals that I want to kind of accomplish and work on. Because there's a lot of things I can still work on. There's a lot of things that I want. There's a lot of things that like I know that like I need to focus on, and I haven't been doing it. So like just me right now and hold myself accountable. And like I said, I'm cutting back on a lot, like when it comes to like food, and also like, you know, like not only the food aspect of it, if like life aspect of it, like social medias and all that stuff, like before that. So just like prayer points for me to focus and narrow down and kind of just come down, like, you know, and be like, all right, I'm vulnerable about this state, like in this mindset, like, okay, let me try to focus on that. So I'm about to be doing that before I even go to Korea, because I'm going to Korea in April, and it's going to end right when I travel to go to Korea. So I think it'll be good. So then by then I'll write my prayer points for my man. You know, he out there without having 4 kids. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yep.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna do the outro again.
No, there's no point. You're gonna add it to the video.
Yeah, I'm gonna just cut this out. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cut this little piece out, and then, man, I don't know what you was talking about. Talking about some 15 minutes.
That's me talking.